We're live. Wow. Hey, I'm Joe Drilling. This is On the Stick After Dark, and I feel like I should have microdosed for this. With me at this time is Kurt Adam,
I am here.
and might just be us tonight. Eric doesn't have internet presently. Mike has COVID. Alex is recovering from his COVID shot, so I think it's may end up just being the two of us. We'll see. Um, so this is Hyper Demon, which is the sequel to Devil Daggers, which surprise dropped on Monday. No announcement, no trailers, no early access, just hey, we made another one of these. Here you go. Which I think is really cool. I think it's a little easier for indie developers to pull that stuff off, but I think it's really cool when anyone does something like that, or it's like, hey, remember this thing you liked? We made more of it, and it's available right now. So, at first, I saw people say, like, just initially, like, oh, it's the sequel to Devil Daggers. And I was like, well, it's not called Devil Daggers 2. It's from the same people, but, like, is it really the sequel to Devil Daggers? Yes. Yes. It is really the sequel to Devil Daggers. And you died just that. So, if you don't remember Devil Daggers, Devil Daggers. You don't remember Devil Daggers?
Nope.
So Devil Daggers was an arena. I believe it was a never-ending arena shooter. There was something that kind of vaguely resembled an ending. There was like a final monster that would appear in certain circumstances. But it basically was the whole thing. The whole score, the high score table in the game was based on how long you could survive. Oh, you son of a bitch! So it was kind of essentially a time attack. And basically the way that you got a higher score than your friends was just like by surviving longer. So and I think my high score in that game was not, and you can see my high score. So right now I had negative 15 points. I get into the scoring system here. My high score is 16 and a half points. That's my high score in this game so far. And yesterday I was in the top 800. Today I've dropped to 3676th place. So there you go. So Devil Daggers had a very like Quake 1 aesthetic to it. And I think that's why a lot of people liked it. Was because of that aesthetic. This is also a game that's very hard to talk about and play at the same time, so I'm probably not going to play all that well while I'm talking about it. Fuck. Right. So there was a very Quake 1 vibe around Devil Daggers. This game has much more of a took a tab of acid and then played Quake 1 sort of vibe to it. And the scoring system in this game is similar but not congruent. So just surviving is not adequate in this game. You have to constantly be killing monsters because as you fight, your score ticks down. Like you can see at the top in the center, that's my score. So my score is constantly going down. Until I kill something. And everything that I kill gives me a certain number of points. You can kind of combo stuff together. But basically, if you're not constantly killing things, you are losing score. So my highest score so far is actually from a relatively short run that just was, like pretty good. As opposed to like, a super long game that, didn't end up where I just was able to survive, because surviving and score don't necessarily mean the same thing here. So it's a lot to take in. I'm very glad that I played the tutorial before I actually started playing the game, because there's a lot going on in this game, as I'm sure you can see. Like, if you're playing this and you haven't, or if you're watching this and you haven't played it, and I guess, Kurt, you can tell me if you feel this way. You probably have really, like, relatively little idea what the fuck is going on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of ascertained at least part of what you were talking about, just, based on observation, but, it's pretty obtuse. Aside from that, I'm like, okay, shooting a bunch of stuff, and timers are going down, or something, and then as he kills things, then it pops back up, but it keeps, you have a push-pull going on, but that's sort of as far as I got in understanding what was happening.
Yeah, so... So, your standard shot is this auto fire of these daggers, which is that's the main mechanic of the original game. Is you have the Devil Dagger, and it causes you to shoot daggers in like an endless stream from the palm of your hand. Another part of that is if I tap the button, or tap the left mouse, that does like a shotgun blast, which I can also use to like do like a rocket jump, basically. I died because I was showing it off, but so you can kind of do like a rocket jump. Then you get gems. So shooting a big gem releases smaller gems. You can pick up the smaller gems. You can just pick them up, and I think they're worth like a very little amount of points. But more than that, what you really want to do is you can use them as like an alternate fire. So that's very hard to see sometimes. But basically, when something drops a gem, you can use the right mouse to suck the gem in, and then use it to fire a laser. And if you fire the laser at like a different power-up, then the laser will turn into like a Panzer Dragoon style homing laser, where it branches out and kind of homes in on a lot of the nearby enemies.
Okay.
And then
Go ahead.
No. Well, no, you should ask what you're going to ask, because there is a lot of mechanics in this game.
Well, I wanted to know exactly how long Jeff Minter had worked on this game.
Strangely, I mean, there aren't any llamas in this game, so...
Yeah. Not that I've seen yet.
Well, that's fair enough, I guess. So, there are a couple of different power-ups that if you shoot them with the laser, they will also do... Like, there's one that I haven't picked up yet, but you can kind of see it when those snake things appear. You can see that they are surrounding, like, this blue flare right there. So, that is a power-up that slows down time. And kind of gives you, like, a bullet time effect, which is really helpful. But also, if you shoot it with a laser... it explodes into even more lasers than the big gem does when you shoot it with a laser. You can also dash into the laser, or into the crystal, and that gives you like a super dash, but you can still run into enemies, as you just saw. And And there's a bunch of like movement tech about like being able to sort of dash to the side and bunny hop and stuff, and that's all. Um,
Why
you
is
know,
there a circle around you?
that so when something enters your periphery, it kind of gives like a little, like a, ugh, it gives you like kind of a red ghost image that I think you've probably noticed that tells you like this thing
Yeah.
is right by you, and I think that's what the circle like indicates, you know, if that's the distance that something has to be inside of for you to get that sort of peripheral look. The other thing is you can expand the field of view really, really far. So I'm playing on a curved monitor. I bumped it up to I think 120. It defaults to 100 degrees. You can go as high as 180 degrees, but it's a lot at 180 degrees. This whole game is a lot in general, actually. Like the reason that I in the email thread I mentioned like maybe playing Roller Drome is because this is a hard game to play for a long time without like kind of like I didn't.
It's super demanding. It looks like
Yeah.
it's
It's
it feels to me like playing this would feel like playing Thumper.
so I didn't actually
Where
play Thumper. I heard good things though.
it's
Um,
really good, but like it's really fucking intense.
yeah.
Um, and uh, I couldn't play it for extended periods. I think some people potentially got into like flow states with it in some way, but
Yeah, I could definitely see that
um,
with this game too. But this game definitely like requires. Okay, so there we go. So this is the slow mo power up, as I'm sure you can tell, right? So time is a little more friendly to me. And of course, I blew it by running into that enemy. Time is a little more friendly to me when I have that power up. But also, if I can shoot it with a laser, it does a whole bunch of damage kind of all at once. Just like that.
so it said score submitted. Do you have more than one position on the leaderboard? Does it?
Um,
I mean, it shows you kind of where your relative are for the score you just did, or
yeah, I think it
does it
just
give
I
you?
think
It just holds your high score.
it just
Yeah,
holds
it
your
looks
high
like it
score.
too.
So yeah,
Okay.
11.766 is what I had this run.
Right, but it's showing 16
16.458
something. Right. Yep.
is yeah, and then you can see that was 2 days
Okay.
ago. So, but also you can restart whenever just by hitting R. So if you don't like, you want to make sure you wait until it says score submitted. If you got a new high score, right? Before you hit R, otherwise you would lose that run.
So you were talking earlier about how this is not necessarily a sequel.
I mean, Devil Daggers doesn't have a story near as I can tell, and this one doesn't seem to either. So, I mean, what are we really talking about? When we,
I mean,
I mean, it
there can be.
plays. Gameplay wise, it's very similar.
Okay,
So
that was where I was going with that question.
yeah. I mean, again, Devil Daggers had a much less acid trip aesthetic than this does, but I mean, I can just also just like play a little Devil Daggers. But as you can see, like runs of this game, I mean, I'm sure there's someone somewhere who can play this game for an hour without dying or whatever, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Like controlling it, even just like as kind of a lot. you son of a bitch. Yeah, see, like, this is like the longest run I've had since I've been playing tonight, and my score is negative. So, there you go. That's how that works. Like, I'm just not killing efficiently enough. So,
Right.
you know. But yeah, actually, just as a point of comparison, I guess, let's get out of here for a second, and I'll play Devil Daggers for just a minute, which I have not played in quite some time. So I'm probably going to be bad at it. Also, I'm probably going to be like, oh, that's a mechanic from Hyper Demon. Sorry to everybody watching the stream. Holy shit, that was super loud. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, again, you walk forward, you touch the dagger, and it's an arena shooter where you... Nope. Oh, that's right, you can walk off the edge in this one. So... But there you see... I guess that was 9.7 minutes was my best. Oh, geez, Mike played for almost an hour at some point, apparently. So Mike apparently ended up putting a lot more time into this game than I did. But yeah, I mean, so it's like this has a real Quake 1 aesthetic. You can walk off the edge, which you can't in Devil Daggers, near as I can tell, or in Hyper Demon, near as I can tell. Also, the monsters, yeah, they have like... Okay, so you can do the shotgun blast.
There's less shininess in this.
Yeah, this is way less of an acid trip. Or maybe that was that seconds that my score was just now, and maybe they reset the leaderboards. Yeah, because now that's 38 seconds. Yeah, no, they must have reset the leaderboards at some point with some update of it, or not, because I definitely at some point had like 8 minutes or something, 7 or 8 minutes, I think it was, which felt like a lot at the time. But anyways, so you can kind of tell, like, yes, Hyper Demon is a sequel to this, but it's a... I mean, this is very much... I mean, again, the scoring mechanic here is stay alive, so, you know, it's a different thing than, like, be as efficient as you possibly can with your kills, you know, like... And also, like you said, a lot less color, a lot less shiny. Yeah. I mean,
if I looked at this, I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe I would try this. Whereas the other one, I'm like, that seems interesting.
Yeah.
Shiny and trippy. Trippy is at least partially my aesthetic.
Yeah, fair enough.
See previous Jeff Minter comment.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is Devil Daggers. Much more, you know, basic. And that game came out in... Yeah, that game came out in... What year did that game come out? 2017? I think so.
Team says 2016. February 2016.
Okay. So one of the things that I will say that I've sort of consistently had an issue with is that like the hitboxes of some of the enemies is like hard to kind of get a consistent grasp on.
Oh yeah.
Like, so these things, you can, like, leap into the crystal before you kill them and get, like, a boost jump and then, like, also kill them. But navigating into the center of them to do that is, as you can see, not
Yeah.
the easiest thing in the world. Also, it puts you pretty far away from the rest of the enemies, which is not always where you want to be. Oof. And so a lot of the enemies also have like in Devil Daggers there wasn't super specific that I remember like enemy stuff, whereas in this one it's like, you know, some enemies like these little trilobite guys that turn blue. When they turn blue, you're supposed to either jump on them or dash at them to like instantly kill them.
Yeah.
Which of course there's like a risk reward thing there, right? But I think you get more points if you dash into them to kill them. The weird snakes with the skull heads, you can stun them by doing like so there's like a ground pound thing like that. You can stun them and make them vulnerable to extra damage. But again, like kind of getting the right distance from them to make that work is kind of easier said than done. But I think a lot of the like, you know, what's eventually going to be, or what probably already is, like some of the higher level play involves like mastering those things. Which, like, again, if you get this game, I cannot strongly enough recommend that you play all the tutorial stuff that's in the menu, because I think if you just dropped into this game without doing that, you would absolutely be lost.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty likely.
yeah. So I don't know, man. This is a game that is very much for a particular type of person. I think I am that type of person. You, dear viewer, may not be. But if you are, like, if you're watching me play this and you're like, this looks rad as fuck, like, you probably will think it is rad as fuck. If you're watching this and going like, I'm kind of getting motion sickness, probably don't play it, because you probably will get motion sickness.
And definitely don't play it with a VR headset on.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. Speaking of which, man, there was some news this week. One of the items which I found really pretty. I mean, as a person who doesn't actually own one, I guess I don't really care. But like, wow, the fact that PSVR games will not work on a PSVR 2, you know, that feels a little shitty. Like, if I spent a whole bunch of money on a VR headset and wanted to play some of the older, you know, PSVR games, and then they were like, just kidding, can't do that. I'd be like, well, that kind of sucks, fellas. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, although I don't know. I haven't looked into the details of it. I did hear that, but I haven't looked into the details of it to know why that might be an issue. VR tech is evolving a lot. It's entirely possible that it's one of those sort of like, oh, you can't play this old DOS game on anything because these days, because it's written so close to the metal that it's just impossible for it to work. And so it may be one of those where it's like, well, in order to optimize it and make it work very well and run like shit, we like skirted a whole bunch of things that we shouldn't have really done, which makes backward compatibility like impossible.
Yeah, I mean,
Who knows?
You know, I'm sympathetic to that to some extent, but just I feel like that's the thing where I would be like, if there's, you know, certain games that don't work, I would be like, oh, okay, well, that, you know, I mean, that is what it is, like. But to be like just blanket like, no, none of them work, is kind of like, wow, it's not great. Oof. To me, anyways. I mean, like, I don't have a PSVR, and I don't have a PS5 to be really like concerned about getting a PSVR 2.
Yeah.
But okay, so see, there's a perfect example. Like, I was trying to do the stomp thing to the snakes, and like they still just killed me, even though I did stomp near them. So that's a weird thing. Yeah, I don't know if this game actually supports like any of the like
I sort of assume it doesn't. I just was making a joke.
but it might, the Vive or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I wouldn't want to play this game like that for sure.
See anything about it on the story page? Someone joined.
Go to bed.
It's Alex.
Hello.
It's Alex, who should be in bed.
No, I slept all day yesterday, like literally.
Yeah, it's a
Like
clearly.
how you said you were up for 2 hours, but you also slept during those 2 hours. So
I napped.
Further
What is this
proof.
game?
Further proof that you should go to bed, Alex.
No, I'm not tired. I slept too much yesterday. I'm like awake now, just like physically tired. This game's like giving me like it's like I'm having a bad time on acid.
Have you ever had a bad time on acid?
No, but it's what I would imagine that.
Maybe it's like
I
having a
had,
good time on acid.
I had some friends in college that took acid, and I talked to them the next day, and they told me that the sun came up, and they were very afraid because it came up wrong. They could not articulate what that meant, but they were terrified. And I was like, uh-huh. And now you know why I left when you guys decided to do that.
That's excellent.
Yeah. There was also another friend of mine who had a much better time, but he was at some friend's place, like a friend's parents' place, and it was one of those, like very nice suburban homes that's all very, very manicured and so on. And in the garden there was like this big wrought iron like ladybug or something like that, and he told me later that when he was tripping, he sort of looked at it and had this epiphany that, well, of course, this was the only kind of bug that would be able to survive in this environment. That it was any other bug would be too unruly and thus could not live.
Of course. Quite naturally.
Yeah.
This is Hyper Demon, the sequel to Devil Daggers, Alex.
Duh.
Duh.
Also, it's in there in the.
It is in the title of the
Yeah,
stream.
I know. I just was like.
But I hear you.
It's one thing to see like, oh, Joe's streaming Hyper Demon, and it's another thing to be like, what the fuck is this?
Like, see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like that other game, Double Dragon or whatever you said.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
a
Double Dragon.
sequel to
Yeah.
Double Dragon. That's why I like it so much.
This is Triple Dragon.
Which one's Billy? Is he the hand?
He's
or is
the
he
hand.
Like the one you just blew up, or like, well, I guess the stream Billy. Never mind, but or you see the one shooting.
The hand that's shooting, yeah.
He's the hand that shoots the cradle.
Is Jimmy the stuff coming out of the hand?
Whoa.
Yeah, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a lot. Again, like this is a game that feels like it's made for a very specific audience. That audience seems to really like it. People who are not in that audience seem to either get motion sick or just not like it.
Yeah. It would suck to want to play it and not be able to do it because you got too motion sick.
That is true. That would suck.
How you said it has a big field of view, but I didn't catch what you said
You
about
can.
how yours was set.
So mine is set to 120 degrees. The default is,
Okay.
I think 120 is where I left it. Uh,
Okay.
180 is the maximum field of view in this
It's
game,
got a gnarly fisheye
which
thing
is a
going on
lot.
there.
Yeah, and 100.
How much worse it would be with that? Yeah.
I mean, I can show you after this run if you want to see. Um, so yeah, it defaults to what did I say?
120.
No, it default. No, I set it to 120. It defaults to 100.
Okay.
So,
But you're no scrub.
but I'm no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. You see,
Yeah.
is the thing.
Right.
Where is he
So,
in relation to the passenger side
of
their
his best friend's
ride?
ride? He's trying,
Yeah.
I stress, to holler at me.
Oh, okay.
But he
Holler?
is, yes.
Or holla.
Holla, yes, holla. There. So now I got a new score. That was a good run. So now you see my score tick up a few hundred spots.
Oh. Oh yeah. Look at that. I like that. Gives you some drama.
Yeah. Yep. Just now. So there we go.
And
And
it's
I
like
can make
the Price is Right.
yeah, and I can make clips
You
if I
scored
want.
$1.
So like if we okay, so let's go to the options and I actually set the frame limit too low because I thought for some reason I had 144 hertz monitor, but it's actually 165. So that's close enough. Okay, so we'll do 180 on the. Oh, and you can change whether or not the peripheral vision is in high res or not. And actually, I meant to turn that off, so now I'm going to turn that off. So I've been playing with the peripheral vision in high resolution the whole time, but I'm turning that off because I actually really. I kind of since I have a curved monitor, I should be maybe a little closer to the monitor, but it would look weird on stream if I did that. But anyways, this is the game with 180 degree field of view. It's a lot. It's like I can see where you might have like a strategic advantage playing this way. But also like I don't generally get motion sick and it's a little swimmy for me in a 180.
That's what I wondered, yeah.
So, yeah, and if we go back now and we go to 100, oh yeah, you can go as low as 90. I don't know why you'd want to make it that narrow, but 100 is the default. So this is the default. This feels like, to me at least, obviously, like it wasn't quite enough. Like I feel like some first person games kind of do that, and I don't know.
I feel like a little bit more.
Like I remember Doom 2016, I had to widen the field of view because I think it defaulted to 90 or 100, and I think I made it like 120 in that, and felt like that was like a lot better.
That's weird
for me. Why is that weird?
I never fuck with the field of view in anything, and then the only time it's ever been an issue with me is one time I was playing Half-Life, and I was like, why am I getting headaches playing this? And then I googled it, and people were like, oh, like the field of view is different. And I was rather than figure out how to change that, which was probably just going to the options and pressing a button, I just said, I'll just stop playing it. Because I was like replaying it. I'd played it before. But yeah, I don't know. I just I never like am playing a game and I'm like, oh, this field of view is wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. This is this game. All right.
I would say
you're wrong. It's just like I've just literally never. That's not my
so.
experience.
Like generally, I tend to agree with you actually, but this particular game sort of like advertises it as a feature. That it's like, oh, the field of view is like super extra wide. Check that shit out. So I was like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna like play with that a little bit because like they advertise it as a thing of like, check out the super wide field of view. So I was like, all right. And then I remembered the thing, like my experience. And then, of course, I cranked it up all the way just to be like, well, what's that like? And then I was like, okay, I don't like this. This is like borderline motion sick territory. So then I edged it back a bit because I did feel like the original one was like not great. This is what I landed on, was 120. Seems pretty good for me. But I mean, again, this is one of those games where like there's just a lot of shit going on in this game, and like that's that's tough. It can be quite tough. Fuck. Oh, see, now that was better than I think my previous score, but not as good as the one I just posted. So, what about my friends? Do I have any friend? Nobody else is playing this yet. So,
Not yet. Just came out, right?
Monday. Yeah. This is the kind of thing. Like this is I like Devil Daggers a lot. It had that old school like the Quake aesthetic was cool, but it also like really to me feels a lot like it feels like a instead of a sci-fi like a gothic fantasy style first person Robotron is like that's how I would describe Devil Daggers, and this is like that but on acid. And so like as soon as I saw someone talking about like holy shit, like yeah, like holy shit, surprise sequel to Devil Daggers like just dropped, I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I just like immediately downloaded it, like ignoring things that are on my wish list that I in fact Neon White is on sale right now, and I'd been thinking about buying that, and then I was like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm fucking I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, same.
And
I have heard nothing negative about it at all.
I don't think I've heard anything negative about it either, actually. I think I've only heard like literally only good things.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Shit. Oh. Well, I got a new high score, at least. See, that's the weird thing. That's the thing that, like, takes some getting used to. Is, like, that was a shorter run than the one that I had that got my last high score.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I wonder if there's a strategy. Like, earlier, when I was having that run, I noticed at one point my score was over 20, and I was kind of like, should I just tank the run? Like, should I just run into something on purpose? Because this is a better score than I've had the whole,
Right.
But then it's like, well, but if I stop now, I'll never get higher than, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
No. It's the coward's way out.
Right, exactly. Rhino Nar wants to know how I came up with the name Shakewell. It was on the side of a can that I was drinking out of, and I thought it was funny, basically. And
said Shakewell before enjoying.
Yes, it said Shakewell before enjoying. So it's kind of a sex joke, really. I mean, it's. But I just.
Camaristigo says, "Hey guys."
Hey, Camaristigo. All right, so I am about I am about at my limit with this game. Like this game is hard for me to play for much longer than a half hour to clip. So I think I'm going to play a little roller drome before we call it a night.
Yeah, let's do that. Have you guys ever played Alien Fireteam Elite? I haven't.
We did. We played it on stream, as a matter of fact.
Did we?
Yes. Mike and
that seems unlikely.
Mike and Eric and I played it. I don't remember if you were like in the peanut gallery or not, but we played it and we did not much care for it, if memory serves. So do with that information what you will. I have to turn my Bluetooth on, which I always forget to do.
Which, all games are better when playing with buddies.
Yes.
So,
which tells me that if I
tells you even more that
playing it by yourself, it's really not a thing.
How is Monaco at the top of that list?
At the top of which list?
Your Steam list there.
Oh, because it's alphabetical.
Just stopped such that Monaco was at the top.
Speaking of games playing with buddies, that one might have been worse.
Yeah.
With Anthony at least.
Yes, right. There was a couple of positives and one huge negative and all of that.
Yeah.
Cameras just says they've been playing it a lot for like the last few months. We certainly do not begrudge others their fun.
Yeah, no, if you dig it,
If you're into it,
if you're digging
good
it,
job.
go on. I mean, it's better than Colonial
Yeah.
Marines, that's for damn sure. But we
That
yeah.
was like getting your kneecaps broken.
I had
Hey,
a
did you
mess-
know that getting like an acid enema is like worse than playing this video game? Yes, I did know that.
I did know
Actually.
that. I didn't even need to see the research.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I believed you. Like,
Yeah. If you balance out the teams, you can go for a while in Horde.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan and R says RE2 remake coming to Switch. Cannot wait. Didn't need to wait because I already played it and it was
Yeah.
good. But if
I
you
bought
haven't,
it
if
and
you
got
haven't
too
played
scared.
it, good on you. Oh, is the cloud version?
Yeah, it's the cloud
Yeah.
version.
Okay. All right.
all the stuff that's going to Switch is cloud version. Those games, because the Switch is a little baby console and it can't do it.
It's a little baby console for little babies, which
I didn't say
includes
it was for
all
little
of
babies.
us.
I said it was. Didn't say it was for babies. I just
No,
said it's for babies.
I said that.
Okay.
You were trying to be politic, and Joe was just like, nah.
So
I've
this
never ventured into Colonial Marines territory. My understanding is that's probably how you should keep it.
Yeah, that's definitely how you should keep it. So this is welcome to Tony Hawk meets
Vanquish?
kinda, yeah. I was gonna say actually maybe
There knee
Robotron again. There is not knee sliding. There is roller
Alright, well,
skating though.
Fuck this
Oh,
game.
this sucks. Turn it off.
Where you get ammo by doing tricks. That's how you refill all of your guns.
Didn't you play this on stream before?
No,
We talked
I've
about it, but it
talked
never
about it
actually happened.
many times and had not yet
Okay,
actually.
okay.
Brandon R says, do you like Shanghai movies with Jackie Chan? I assume you mean the Shanghai
Uh,
Noon and stuff like that,
yeah.
as opposed to the Hong Kong. I don't assume you're not mistakenly thinking Hong Kong movies are in
I
Shanghai.
assume that's what he means. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, most of his American movies are not as good as his Hong Kong movies.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think the first two Rush Hour movies are fine, except for the fact that they were
Yeah.
apparently directed by a giant asshole. But you know, what can you do? A lot of movies were
I mean,
directed by a giant asshole.
I was gonna say. Yeah. Perfect dodge. Nice.
You say perfect dodge. Now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
How about
was
just not getting hit?
this,
Yeah, that's
this,
all it takes.
It's like, wait.
This was made by the
You're
people.
telling me there's
Shots.
stuff that can hit me, and I've got to not let that happen? Okay, I'm in.
This
Now.
was made by the folks who made Ali Ali. That was one of their.
And its sequel, Oxenfree.
Yes, as we all know, Oxenfree is the sequel to Ali Ali.
Yeah.
Although it
I
is
do
kind
all
of
that.
weird that there are both games called Ali Ali and one called Oxenfree. That is a little weird.
I mean,
Do a stale fish.
But I don't know if I can do a stale fish. I'm trying to remember what all the buttons. Actually, it's been a minute since I played this, and I don't remember.
Just one of the problems with extreme sports things is that the same move in different disciplines have different names.
Okay, those are grabs. What the...
I mean, is there
Are
anybody
there
left?
more? Yeah. Well, usually the level ends when there isn't. Am I supposed to fight the
There's a
helicopter?
helicopter.
Yeah. Where am I? Okay. Let's see.
Out of
Perform a
bounds.
combo.
There's that blue thing up in the air.
Before,
over there.
yeah, perform a nose grab by the trick token. There we go. Okay. So that's what I'm supposed to do over there.
got a little bit of a heavy metal magazine aesthetic to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, there's a guy. Got him. So eventually you can get more guns. That's one of the things that I'm actually quite looking forward to, because the pistols are like the dual pistols are kind of just okay. Why do I feel like I am... What the hell? Like, I feel like I need to... Oh, Trictionary. Let's do that. Right, okay, those are... Grinds, grabs, okay. What the hell? I feel like the tricks are not being as responsive as I've... Okay, there we go. One thing I do like about this game is you can't wipe out. Like, you can get hit by enemies, but even if you don't land the trick correctly... You know, like, if you don't... Like, the way that you would land in a lot of cases would... get you killed in Tony Hawk, or not killed, but you know,
right? Yeah,
you would fall in Tony Hawk. In this game, that's not a concern.
That's probably good, because I suspect it would get incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, I think fighting enemies and also trying not to fall in your face would, yeah, yep. So yeah, I think this is another one. The skill ceiling is probably not quite as high as Hyper Demon, but this is another one where it kind of feels like every level gives you a score, and like to kind of max that stuff out. There we go, got him. To max that stuff out is probably...
Yeah.
You know. Is going to take a lot of practice. Also, the one thing that I don't know if at some point there are power-ups to get like a bigger clip. And I mean, obviously they want to incentivize you doing tricks just like pretty constantly, but boy, there are some moments where it's just like, oh my god, like I just want to kill this enemy. And I run out of bullets before I can do it every time.
Mm-hmm. Brandon R. wants to know if there will be a 39 One Nights of Halloween gaming. We will certainly do some amount of Halloween gaming, whether we hit all 31 or not is a question.
Yeah, I mean, we always try.
Yeah. I've already raised the possibility of doing more Evil Dead with Joe when that happens.
Yes. Oh, shit.
That'll be a thing.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely do that. We'll definitely, I mean, we're going to try. We always try to get a 31. In the last couple of years, at least, we've managed to get all 31, I think. It's been a little while since we missed one, so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Roller Drome. Again, two games I picked tonight that are actually pretty hard to like play and talk at the same time, but I dig them both so far. Um, I would recommend. So again, Hyper Demon is like, if you watched me play it and think it looks cool, you should try it. And if you don't, like, it's not a game that's going to surprise you. It is what it looks like. Roller Drome, I think for me, kind of hits that sweet spot of, something like Vanquish, like a, third person shooter, and Tony Hawk games. I think I still need to spend more time with it to kind of get used to the controls and the tricks. The trick system is a lot less complex than something like Tony Hawk. Um, but
Right.
I still like it. I love the aesthetic. I love the 70s, like retro futuristic, stuff that they're doing. So I think it's
Yeah.
pretty good. So, but I think I'm gonna call it because again, playing Hyper Demon for that long kind of like melts your brain a little bit.
Yeah, I
And
get that.
so I'm gonna go melt my brain in a different way, and I think I'm gonna watch We're All Going to the World's Fair tonight. So that might also melt my brain. We'll find out, I guess. We'll report back on that. But yes, good night, everybody. We'll be back next week with something else.
Something else. See ya.
Oh, I played something else. It's bad.
Have
Okay,
you
goodbye.
tried not getting hit?